My name is Ms. Epps, and today's video lesson is going to be on writing book reports. Writing book reports. Before we begin our lesson, we're going to go over our lesson objective, and we're going to go over the materials that you are going to need. Okay, so let's go over our objective. So it says here, I will write a book report. Okay, and the materials that you're going to need are going to be paper and pencil. I want you to know that you will have access to all the stories that we're going to use or books that we're going to use today. They will be in the materials section of the lesson. So not in this materials part, but there's another part of the lesson where your parent will be able to see the list of books that we have gone over. And so you will have access to the book again, you know, if you need to, if you want to go back and look at the book again, certainly feel free to do so. Now, so let's move on to our first slide. And we're just going to talk about what a book report is, okay? All right, so if you see here, a book report gives you a chance to read a new book and then tell your teacher and friends what you thought about it. And you know, that's exactly what we're going to do today. Some book reports can be in essay form, which means if it's in an essay form, it means you're writing several paragraphs about the book. But we're not going to do that. We're going to fill out a form, and you can write the components of the form on your paper if you like to follow along with me. You will have access to a copy of the form. So if you want to print it down, if you have access to a printer and you want to print it down at a later time and use that form for some other books that you choose to do, please feel free to go ahead and do that. But I just want you to know what a book report was all about, okay? So we're going to read several books today, okay? So let's go ahead and get started with our book. Let's get started with our first book, okay? So here's our book report form. So this is a form that I'm going to use. And then I'm going to switch to another form. It looks similar, but I am going to switch to another form a little bit later. But here's the form here, okay? And this is the form that I told you that your parent will have access to, okay? And this is the one we're going to use for now. So let's go to our first book. And our first book is entitled A Teacup for Grandmother. A Teacup for Grandmother. And it's by Carol Mew, okay? And it's illustrated by Andrew Buchkert. I hope I said that right, Buchkert, okay? All right, so what we're going to do, let's go to our first page. So it's A Teacup for Grandmother, okay? Let's make it a little bit bigger. All right, so it says, my grandmother's birthday is in 7 days. My mom and I want to get her something special. My grandmother has an old set of pink teacups. She broke one of the teacups. My mom knows how much she likes them. My mom wants to find one to buy for her. My mom and I go shopping. We look at many stores for a teacup. One store clerk tells us that the teacup is no longer being made. Mom is sad. I am sad. Mom turns on the computer at home. She looks online to see if she can find the teacup. She types pink teacup into the search bar. So many links come up. She types more words into the search bar. She types the names of the company that made the teacup. A link with a picture of the teacup shows up. She clicks on the link. The link is to an online store that sells old things online. She can buy the teacup. But how will my mom pay money on the computer? The online store has two ways that she can pay for it. She can use her credit card. She can use an online payment company. My mom uses an online payment company. She says it is safer. My mom buys things from different online stores. She uses the online payment company to pay all the online stores. So she only has to give her credit card numbers to the online payment company. This is safer than giving her credit card numbers to many stores, okay? The online payment company has my mom's credit card numbers. The online payment company pays the online store for the teacup. Then the online payment company takes the money from my mom's credit card account. The online store sends my mom an email right away. It says that the pink teacup will be shipped. We will get the teacup in 5 days. The teacup arrives just in time. We wrap it in pretty paper. We bring it to my grandmother on her birthday. My grandmother is surprised when she opens it. My grandmother puts all of her teacups together on the table. She is happy to have a full set of teacups again. She gives us a hug. Then she makes a pot of tea. The end. Okay, so let's go and do our book report. So the name of my book is, so what is the name of this book? Do you remember? Let's go back and look at the cover. There it is. A teacup for grandmother, right? So that's what we're going to put in over here. And if you notice right here, this is a fiction book, okay? This is a fiction book. Now, what exactly kind of book is a fiction book? Think about it for a second. Did you say a fiction book is a make-believe book or a made-up book? If you did, you were correct, okay? Yes, this book is a fiction book and it is a made-up story, okay? So our next statement says, this book was written by who? Who was it written by? Let's see. There's her name, Carol Mew. I hope I'm saying her name correctly. So let's type it here. Okay. Now, who was in this book? So tell me, who was in this book? Think about it for a second. If we go back and look at our book, who was in it? Did you say mother? You had a mother, a daughter, and who else? Let's see if we can go down in our book. And grandma. Now, grandma wasn't seen a lot, but she was in this book, okay? All right, she wasn't seen a lot, but she was there. So we have here mom. So that is a mother, daughter, and grandmother. Oops. Okay, so it's not going to let me type any further, but If I were able to go further, I would say mother, daughter, and grandmother were in this book, okay? All right. So that may happen. I may start typing, but the program will not let me type any further. So you can complete that, and you can get your parents to help you with the spelling. But anyway, a mother, daughter, and grandmother were in this book. Okay, it says, so now it says, where did this story happen? So where did it happen? And what does that mean? What is that called? Is that the character or the setting? What are we talking about when we talk about where something happens? Did you say setting? You're exactly right. So let's go back and take a look at the picture. So here it looks like they're in a house, right? If we look at most of these pictures, you'll find that they are where? Inside the house, seems like, right? They only went out one time. So since they went out one time, we do need to acknowledge that, okay? But most of the events took place where? Inside the house. I might not be able to. Inside the house. That's as far as we will be able to go, but we know they did go out. Okay. Okay, let's go down. It says tell three things that happened in this book. Tell three things that happened in this book. Now you know that there were many things that happened in this book, but I'm going to take the time and pull out three things, okay? All right. So if we go back and look at our story on page 1, what do we find here? She said, it's my grandmother's birthday is in 7 days, and my mom and I want to get her something special. So we can see here that this is one very important event, right? Okay? So we're going to indicate that on here. The little girl and her mom want to, but we're just going to put the little girl want to buy something, oops, for grandma. And the only reason I'm making the sentence short is because we won't be able to type the complete sentence. But the little girl want to buy something, right? So let's end it right there, okay? What is something else that happened? What does she want to buy her? So we see here my grandmother had an old pink teacup set. She broke one of the teacups. And what does it say here? My mom wants to find one for her, or wants to buy one for her. What does she want to buy? The teacup, okay? So let's put that in a very short sentence. Teacup. Okay, all right. Okay, so here we already have two things that happen, right? Okay, so can you think about something else that happened in this story? Let's go back over here and take a look at it. So if we look at our story, we see mom starts searching online, right? And what did she end up doing? She ended up purchasing that teacup, right? So then that's one of our last facts we can put here. Mom bought grandma a teacup. Okay. Oops, let's do it. Let's get it in there. There we go. Okay, so now it says, what do you think about this book? Liked it or did not like it? Tell me, just point to the screen and tell me how you feel about the book. I liked it. But that's my opinion. Okay, you know, my opinion is how I think of you. And you're not going to like every book that I may like, and it's okay. Okay, it's okay, but I liked it. Okay, all right, so let's move on to our next story, and we're going to get rid of these facts or these things here because we're going to use it again for our next story, okay? And we need to have a clear space to do that. All right. In the meantime, you can be getting yourself another sheet of paper. And if I were you, I would put the title of the next story at the top of my paper, which is right here. Here's your title. And then as I go along, you can be writing down the parts of the book report. You can go back to that page and pause the screen, write down the parts, because some of the things that I may have picked out as far as when I think about telling what happened, you may have a different statement there, okay? So let's work together with that, okay? So the title of this book is called A Sandy Christmas. A Sandy Christmas, okay? And it's written and illustrated by Brad Blanick. Written and illustrated by Brad Blanick, okay? Okay, let's go over here. So this is what I was talking about. I said you can go ahead and you can pause the screen right here and write down these particular parts, and you can be doing the book report as we go along, okay? All right. So a sandstorm fell all over town. It was December 23rd, 2 days before Christmas. Okay. We never had a Christmas without a snow. It was a new experience for my family. My brother and I wanted to decorate this year. Our mom and dad helped us get started. They got the Christmas decorations out of the attic. We started decorating the lawn first. I put up the Christmas lights on the bushes and trees. My brother put up the lawn ornaments. Next, we went inside and decorated the dining room. We set the table with a candle, a wreath, and pine cones. Okay. Then we decorated the living room. We placed nutcrackers on the mantle and put garland up too. We hung our stockings and thought we had finished. Then we noticed there was no Christmas tree. We rushed to the tree farm, but they were all out. With only 2 days until Christmas, there were no trees left. We thought really hard. We needed a tree. It has always been a Christmas tradition to have a Christmas tree in our house. We found something that could work instead. We carefully hung up the ornaments and added the lights. Our Christmas tree was finished, but we won't be doing this again. I wonder why. There's a reason why you don't use a cactus for a Christmas tree. Why would you think they would not want to use a cactus? Let's see. So there's a cactus right there. I'm going to make it. If you think about a cactus, why would they not want to use that cactus? You can't see them here. I'm gonna make it as big as I can for you. Okay, let's see. Okay, All right, let me get my pen. Do you see these little things here? Those are prickly points. So if there are sharp, prickly points, what do you think they do to you if you touch them with your hands? Let's go back to our book and look at it. They do what? They stick into your hands, right? I mean, it's not funny. It's not funny at all. I'm not making light of how they feel, but that's the reason why they say we won't do that again, because they use a cactus, okay, instead of a regular tree. All right, guys, let's go back and start working on our book report. So what is the name of this book? It says that the name of my book is what? Oops, I'm sorry. The name of our book is what? Let's make it a little smaller. A sandy Christmas tree, right? There it is, right there, a sandy Christmas tree. So let's put that in here. And you can write this down on your paper as we go. Okay, this book was written by whom? There is his name right here, Brad Blanick. Brad Blanick, right? Okay. Hope I spell, let's see. I don't think I spelled his name correctly. You see how I'm going back and making sure I spell the name correctly. I think I got it that time. Okay, Brad Blanick. Okay, now who was in the book? Who were the persons that were in the book? Let's look at it. Did you say there was a brother and a sister? Did you say that? Who do we see more often than we see anybody else? We see that brother and sister a lot, right? Because um a brother, oops, got a misspelling. There was a brother and a sister, right? We saw them the most. We saw them more than we saw anybody else, okay? Now it says, where did the story happen? Where did the story happen? Where, and you can look at your pictures to determine your setting, okay? I forgot to mention that in our last book. But look at your picture to determine where the story took place. Where are they now? They look like they're in a house, right? But where else? If we go down in our story, let's go back here. Where did they go? They had to go outside to get the tree, right? So this story took place inside of a house and outside, right? Okay. Okay, it won't let us go any further, but you can see we can make it, we can just put some words, okay? In inside a house and outside a house. But see now, when you write your book report, you're gonna have the space to write your entire sentence, and that's what I want you to do. I don't want you to just put words on a paper. I want you to write out your sentence, write the entire sentence, okay? All right. Okay, let's move on down. So it says, tell 3 things that happen in the book. So I want you to talk about 3 things. Think about 3 things that happen in the book. And you can write down your 3 things, and then I'm going to tell you what my 3 things were, okay? So now we know when we go back over to our story, there was a sandstorm, right? It's right here. A sandstorm fell all over town. All right, so we see a sandstorm fell all over the town. Okay, now what happened next? What was one of the main things that happened next? So let's look at it. Did you notice or point out or say it was we had never had Christmas without a snow? Okay, so I'm going to make mention of that. Okay, in our book report. Okay, it was it did not snow, right? But what happened? It didn't snow. What time of year was it? Did you say Christmas time? Yes. And if you said Christmas, you were correct. But they still wanted a Christmas tree. The family still wanted a Christmas tree. Or wanted to celebrate Christmas or decorate for Christmas. That's really what we need to say. Decorate for, and I think it's not going to let me type any further, but you know that that's what we're going to say. They wanted to, it did not snow that Christmas, but the family still wanted to decorate for Christmas. Okay. And so what happened in the latter part or toward the ending of the story? Did you say something similar to this? Let's go down here. Because really when you're picking out things that happen in the story, you want to pick out the most important things that happen. And if we see here, they ended up using what? They ended up using that cactus, right? Right here for that Christmas tree. All right. So we want to make mention of that. And let's see if we can go back. I think I have a misspelling for my word cactus. Let's go back over here. I want to spell it correctly. I do it CAC. So let's go back and make that correct. Okay, so they use a cactus for, we need to put a Christmas tree. All right. So you see how I just pulled out the three most important things. All right, so what do you think about this book? Did you like it or did not like it? I liked it. And I'm going to tell you a reason why. You can do an extension to your book report. You can tell, why did you like it? I liked it because of the creativity that I saw in the story. How they didn't have a Christmas tree, but they did the best they could with what they did have. And we know that they did have a cactus. Now, they did hurt themselves a little bit trying to decorate it, but they did use some type of creativity. And you can do that. You can write why you like the book or why you did not like the book. As I've stated before, every book that you read or do a book report on, you're not going to always like that book. Okay, so let's go back and do a review because I did have some other books I want to share with you, but it's okay. We can do those at another time. Okay, so let's go back over here. We know that